Reacting and breaking down the new patch 3.2b. Let's get into it. Welcome to patch 3.2b. This will be the first patch to the blah 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 champion changes, balance patches, new champion, Nautilus. Okay, I'm really excited for Nautilus because, you know, in PC he's like a very prominent pick in pro play and high level, and I think he will be the exact same here in Wild Rift. But I'm not gonna be playing him because I don't play support. Excited to see him. All right, let's go on to the next. All right, now Pike. Pike is interesting. Pike is also a support like Nautilus, but some people from PC play Pike mid, so I don't know if that will be a thing on Wild Rift. I guess it really depends on how they tweak his numbers and whether, you know, he's viable as mid laner. But if he's viable, I'll definitely try him out. All right, all random ultra rapid fire mode. This mode is already out. We can skip this part. Events, icons, rise from the deep. These I don't really care about. All right, champion changes. Let's see. Draven. The glorious executioner hasn't been meeting our expectations lately, so we're increasing his base attack damage and buffing the payout Draven gets for kills. Okay. So he's getting a base attack speed buff from 10 to 20%. Okay, let me think about this. So, wait, so Draven can attack twice as fast at base level? What? That seems kind of crazy. So, that's already a crazy buff, and there's more to it. League of Draven. So, that's his passive for catching the axis and CSing. So they're increasing it to 80 gold. Okay, that's very helpful, the 30 gold. It's not much, but definitely a nice boost. And then the Blood Rush cooldown is 210. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit scary. It looks like they're buffing Draven, and Draven is kind of a pretty scary champion to go against when he's ahead. Hopefully, I'm not gonna get stomped by the Draven one tricks. Might start banning him. Evelynn. Evelynn has always had a strong presence in the jungle, especially in higher level play. Yeah, Evelynn is never like bad per se because she's always useful, and so they're nerfing her base movement speed, base health. They're increasing her health per level, but just slightly. Okay, so this is a really big nerf to early game Evelynn. She's gonna be a lot more squishy, and she's gonna move a little bit slower. And then her allure. Slow charm duration. Okay, that's that's helpful, I guess. I don't really mind this. I don't really like Evelynn as a champion. I think she's kind of annoying to deal with. So good that they're nerfing her. Aurelia. Okay, so I recently started picking up Aurelia. I hope they don't nerf her too bad. Flawless duet. 10, 150, 200, 250, 280, 130, 180, 230. So they nerfed her alts. Wait. Flawless duet. Which ability is that? Is that her E? Wait, they're nerfing her E damage by 20. Okay, nobody really cares. Her passive is where it's really at. And then they're nerfing her alt still. Okay, so this is nothing huge. It's like a quality of life fix to her. She's still definitely going to be playable. Thank God they didn't nerf her too hard. Lulu. I hope they better nerf Lulu hard. This champion is just so annoying to deal with. So the movement speed from her Whimsy is going down to by 10%. Wow, that is huge. And her ult health is nerfed by 500. Okay, or 50. I hope she becomes less meta after this. Because Lulu is just obnoxious, especially when you pair with her with like a Jinx for Vayne. And it's really hard to shut them down. Master E. So they buffed Master E's bonus damage to monsters. So this is weird because Master E is one of those champions where he's not super healthy because he's either like a very niche pick or he's so viable that he's going to dominate the jungle, like when they buffed him a few patches ago and then they had to nerf him and now they're like reverting some of his power. I don't know. I don't really like Master E as a champion, but I mean, the good for the Master E mains, I guess. Morgana. So they're buffing her Q by 1 second and then buffing her black shields. Wait. I don't... Okay, this black shield change is like... It's neither a buff or... I don't know if that's a buff or a nerf. I'd have to look at the... Look into the how the numbers work. This is just an adjustment. I think Morgana was already in a pretty healthy spot. Didn't really think she needed a buff or a nerf, so... Fair. Okay, this is like a slight boost. That's fine. Tristana has been struggling for a while. Has she? I swear to God, all the Tristanas that build attack speed just destroy me. Oh wow, they're buffing her scaling by a lot. It's kind of scary. Tristana is another one of those champions like Draven who can just take over and steamroll. Because she does so much damage. Alright, hopefully she doesn't get out of hand. Wukong. Oh my god, I hope Wukong doesn't get buffed too much. Absolutely obnoxious champion to deal with the tankiness and the knockups. Okay, so they're buffing his base attack damage. So he's gonna be stronger in the just overall, but especially in the early game. They're buffing his golden stats 80 ratio to... Oh, so actually this is interesting because this is insinuating more like AD Wukong instead of tank Wukong. So maybe we'll see more of like Assassin Wukong. And then Cyclone, it has a shorter cast cooldown and a smaller range. So it's a nerf to his ult, but a buff to his other abilities. To his Q and base stats. Okay. I think this is fair. I just hope we see less of tank Wukong, which is absolutely unkillable. But I still think it's going to be very prominent. And this is definitely buff to Wukong. Zaya. Oh, I love playing Zaya. I hope she gets buffed. So her E's just getting 5 more damage. I don't think this makes or break anything. So Zaya's still going to be the same. It's a fairly reasonable pick, but not super strong. Yumi. Oh, please tell me they nerfed Yumi. Okay, so they nerfed her cooldown for her. Is that her passive? I'm not super sure. But any Yumi nerf is good because this champion is just very toxic to play against because she can just do nothing and then one person on her team gets fed and they just become unstoppable. Alright, let's look at the gameplay changes. Boots. For a while now, the upgrade to Tier 1 boots has been significantly less powerful than the upgrade from Tier 1 to Tier 2. Component being weaker than the... Okay, so they are making the original boots cheaper and making it a little bit more expensive to upgrade. I don't really see the point of this unless in very specific situations. I mean, I guess you get a little bit more movement speed when you have like only 400 gold instead of 500. But I mean, I don't think this changes anything. Ruin changes. Electrocute's getting a buff by 5 damage. Okay, so definitely better in the early game, but won't change anything. Though I wonder if some of the Conqueror some of the champions who don't like Conqueror that much can start considering this rune. Like some ASOs on PC run Electrocute since Conqueror got a nerf recently too. Font of Life is getting a cooldown nerf. This is a support keystone, so I'm not too sure about this. I guess it's a nice change. I don't know if a font of Life is too prevalent or overpowered, but you know, it's never been too much of an issue for me. Bone plating. Okay, so bone plating isn't actually taken a lot just because of the cooldown is so long and the Water of Games are so short. And this is definitely a nice buff. 5 damage and 5 seconds. So it will be up a lot more often. I might consider taking bone plating more now just because of this buff. Jungle Red Brambleback. So the red buff and blue buff are getting a nerf in their HP, which is good for the junglers because it's a lot easier to clear the jungle in the early game now. Okay, Smite. So since they removed the health regen from blue buff, they want to buff the smite regen so that it's a little bit easier for junglers to recover. Okay, this is fair. I don't play jungle, but this is probably a very nice buff to junglers. Help them to get in and out of the jungle faster. Skins, Resistant Katarina. Looks pretty cool. Forsaken Jace. Well, that is a very interesting Jace skin. The splash art looks pretty insane. I wonder how it looks in game. Astronautilus. Oh, this is like the most like iconic Nautilus skin, no? This looks absolutely sick. I hope it comes out. And Sand Wraith Pike. Definitely not my favorite Pike skin, but maybe Pike mains like it. Cess release, no one really cares. Free to play champ rotations. Okay, that will be all. I'll